Hello everyone. Today we'll be reviewing the Dinka Postlude based on the Honda Prelude produced between 1978 and 1982. It features great customization, especially if you get it on discount this week. If you catch this video at the time I uploaded it, you have until July 30th to 31st to claim this car. It features great customization. You really have a lot of variety to play with the bumpers, with the side of the car, with the hood, with interior. You really have a lot to choose from. But if you catch this video a little after the discount, then it's still a good price for the trade price of about $700,000, which may seem a lot for a little car like this with four cylinders, but that's the state of the game's economy, so it's not really a big deal. Maybe it is for newer players, but if you like this car, I definitely recommend that you save up for it. I'm gonna get more into the details and the performance when I'm done with the customization. But anyway, it's pretty nice that you can play around with the engine model. You really have a lot of room to work with. The strut braces have been reused in a few other models, so they're not unique to this car. But it's not really a big deal. I'm sure most of you can overlook that. It's cool how you can change the covers as well. You got your carbon option, you got a very unique skull valve option. I personally would have preferred if there was like a silver or like a dark gray cover, but I feel like red still looks okay, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. The exhaust here, as I said, you really have a lot to work with. The further down you scroll, the crazier that the options get, which is pretty nice to see. Personally, the crazier options are not my style and my taste, but if you're going for something very outlandish and this is a perfect car for you with these crazy options, as I said. It kind of looks a bit like a straw, which is pretty funny. Some of them, very unique shapes as well. So I'm gonna go for the chrome tuner to clean it up a bit more. You can remove some of the trim. You can add some plastic arches, some extra extensions to make it a little wider. If you want to make like a wide body type of style, you can try to do that. But I'm gonna leave the trim on to mimic the real life car. You have your headlight, color options there if that's what you're interested in. The hood options are pretty nice. You have a lot to choose from. You have different vent options. You have the secondary and primary color. You have your carbon. This car is very well thought out with the customization options. The developers that make some of these vehicles really don't think it out so well, or maybe they forget some options such as the secondary or the carbon. But this car, I mean, that it does a very good job. I'm gonna smooth out the hood like the real life car. I'm gonna take off those vents. You can strip the interior. You can make this like a track build or a race car, a drift vehicle. Uh, as you can see, it removes a headliner, which is pretty cool. You can even change, the texture on the dashboard. You can make it carbon. You can make it like a smooth texture. Uh, the removal of the seats in the back adds like a fuel cell. If you didn't know what that was. These doors right here, these options are available in a few other vehicles, so it's not unique to this car. You can add your usual roll cage if that's what you're into. I personally do not like it, but it's all a matter of personal preference. If you're going for like a drift build, as I said, or a track build, I can fit this car very well. I have no complaints with the fitment. You have your seat options here, based on some real life sports seats. These have been recycled in some other DLC vehicles, but it's not really a big deal. I mean, if you like these type of seat styles, you're gonna put it on. I I prefer the stock wheel, so I'm just gonna leave it on. Same goes for the steering wheel. I believe these were on Benny's vehicles and they were on Tuner's vehicles. But as I said, it's the same deal there. I like the stock steering wheel as well. For the liveries, these are pretty interesting. The first two are pretty funny. Here, like a shopping list. I'm sure maybe some of you may know what these liveries are based on. This may or may not have been used as like a race car or one of those type of races. Maybe the liveries are just made up by Rockstar. Most of them are. Some of them are inspired by real life cars, but you be the judge of that. Many of these are very highly detailed. They have a lot of cool stuff on it. A lot of references from real life cars or real life racing liveries, should I say. But I'm not going to choose any of these. It doesn't really go with the build that I'm trying to go for. With the mirrors, you can mount them in the front of the car on the fenders, just like the Japanese and foreign market. Um, or you can change them to lighter mirrors if that's what you want to do. But I'm gonna leave the stock mirrors to mimic the American market Prelude. I'm gonna change the plate to yellow and blue to make it more of a classic, older license plate. For the color, I'm gonna change it to like a red or a maroon, a burgundy, one of those colors. It's kind of hard to decide. I also kind of mix up the two darker reds. I don't know why. Grace red looks alright. Garnet red looks similar. A little bit darker. But I'm gonna say what other color options there are. I like how Cabernet red looks on it. Um, it's going for that color I'm trying to go for. Also available in the Prelude. I don't quite recall the exact color name on the real life car, but from the pictures I've seen, I'm gonna try to mimic one of them. The secondary option here is pretty cool, but I haven't seen any Preludes from this era that have a secondary color down there. So I'm just gonna color match that. The interior, just like in the real life car, you can even color match it, or if you don't like, you know, two of the same colors inside and out, you can just make it black or gray. But what I want to do is match it similar. The Cabernet Red looks really nice. Some of you may agree, some of you might disagree. It looks very off. Uh, I could see why some of you might say that. But I personally just like it. It was an option, as I said, to color match the interior, the same color as exterior. So you know what? I might as well just choose Cabernet Red. The roof, you have a lot of options to choose from here. I like the antenna, that one's pretty nice. I love when Rockstar gives us these nice details like that. You have your usual vortex, your racks, uh, stuff like that, your roof box. The sun strips, you can choose these on if you like. It doesn't really work with the build I'm trying to go for. The the splitters here, I mean, these are pretty nice. You have plenty to choose from here. For the spoilers, the trunk rack is considered a spoiler, which is kind of funny, but it still gives a car traction. It was also available on the real life car too, a similar trunk rack. You even have your usual generic spoilers, that type of design that we've seen probably a million times. The suspension, you're gonna be shocked. You can get this car pretty low. It comes with a stance, which is a bit annoying. It should have been a separate option, but it is what it is. If you like a stance, I mean, go for it, but it's not my style. For the wheels, I personally like the stock wheels. They look similar to the production model, specifically the lower trim levels. But anyway, I'm gonna go to tuners, and I'm just gonna see what wheel fits this car very well. Since the wheels in the tuner option, they're like the perfect shape, the perfect size. Any other category would be a bit too big. So I'm between Apex and Sideways. There was a five-spoke model also available in the real life car, so I'm gonna try to mimic that. It's kind of annoying that it comes with like a chrome lip or a chrome ring on the outer of the spokes, but it is what it is. You can tint this too, but I'm not gonna do that since this is an older car. You know, tint wasn't really a thing back then. Anyway, I'm gonna get outside real quick and then talk more about the car. Detail and texture quality is great. As you can see here, the engine model is 3D, and the whole model and the interior is just very well done. Whoever made this car really had a lot of passion for it. I like how it has graphics on the seats and on the doors. It's cool that it has its logo on the steering wheel. Many cars do not have that detail, surprisingly. The trunk interior looks a bit rubbery, but that can, easily be overlooked. It's not a big deal. But the rest of the interior is pretty nice. It is shared with a Deluxo, but I personally do not mind. I mean, it fits the car very well. Speed and handling is great. I do not have any complaints with how this car performs. I really just like how accurate it would feel to a car of this class. Um, it isn't really a good choice for races, but that's besides the point. You buy this car to collect. It's also pretty fun. It feels like a go-kart. So for the price of about $500,000, that's pretty good in the GTA economy. There are a few other options within that price range that are a lot faster than this car. But that doesn't really matter since, as I said, this is pretty fun. I really enjoyed this car. The detail is great. This is perfect for car meets. I'm sure not many people know about this car, especially the newer players. It's one of those vehicles that are very overlooked, and just for the details alone, I feel like this car is very worth it, worth your time. I just really like it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Please stay tuned for more. I'm gonna be covering the next event week pretty soon. I'm gonna be looking into more of these vehicles as well. And as always, thanks for watching.